We know that due to recent events, we're now predicting the 2020 holiday season to be more competitive and drive more revenue than it did last year. Hello everyone and welcome to Surge. This week we're going to be talking about the 2020 holiday season and what you can do to get your e-commerce store ready. So Carlo, we know that due to recent events, we're now predicting the 2020 holiday season to be more competitive and drive more revenue than it did last year, which is saying a lot. We know that in 2019, or from 2018 to 2019, we saw a 13% increase in e-commerce sales during the Christmas season. We saw Black Friday increase by 20%, Cyber Monday increased by 20%. Now, due to recent events, we know that more and more shoppers who don't typically shop online are now going to start shopping online during the holiday season. No more rushing the stores on Black Friday. That's over and done with. So those sales are now going to be taken online. So three things that we want to talk about today are the technology aspect of your e-commerce store, your back-end operation, and marketing. So let's start off with the technology portion of this. So increase in traffic is what we can most likely expect. Is your e-commerce platform ready to handle this amount of traffic coming to your site? Are you on a platform right now that can handle it? So we've been talking recently about the issues with Volusion, right? And the issues that Volusion has been having. They just finished filing for Chapter 11. If you were in the process of thinking about migrating, what would you say, Carlo? Would you say go ahead and do that now, or would you hold off till at the end of holiday season?
Well, I would say that if you're thinking about migrating, the time to do that is right now, because you don't want to be caught flatted during the holiday season when your traffic is going to be at the highest and when people are ready to buy. Migrations are a complicated process. There's a lot of QA that needs to be done. There's the possibility of your traffic even taking a hit, and you want to be able to make sure that you address those issues with sufficient time. Yeah,
so you're absolutely right. E-commerce migration does take time. If you've been on the fence about an e-commerce migration, whether you're migrating off of Volusion or possibly off of Magento, and you have not pulled that trigger, now is the time. Now, it really does depend. For example, we have to assess the situation every single time that we're going to do a migration to then calculate the time frame in which it's going to take to execute that. But for the most part, if you have clean data, if it's a simple, straightforward process from a data standpoint, then you're looking at anywhere between a 30 to 40 day migration, which in that case would give you sufficient time to migrate by end of September, run QA through mid-October till the end of October, and hit the holiday season ground running on your brand new platform, which we would suggest platforms like BigCommerce, Shopify. These are trusted and proven hosted e-commerce solutions that can handle the increase in traffic, handle the volume of orders that you can expect to have during the holiday season. Those are definitely the safest e-commerce platforms to migrate over to if you're considering a migration. But again, like Carlos said, you need to pull that trigger now. If you do not, your best bet is to hold off until after 2020 holiday season. So if you need help figuring out whether right now is the time to migrate or holding off, let us know. We're more than happy to consult you with that. We've done hundreds of e-commerce migrations, and knowing now that 2020, this year, is going to be a huge year for e-commerce, this is definitely something that we would want to help guide you with and make the best decision possible.
I would say not even just the volume of the sales and being able to handle all that. I would even say just the conversion rate alone is worthy of considering. That if you're not migrating, you know that these newer platforms are going to be converting at a much higher rate. So the traffic that you're already getting is going to be making you less money.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. So we just touched base on the technology aspect of this, which is really, we're just focusing on your platform itself. We might throw in at the end of this We'll throw in a couple tools that you might want to have to help you increase sales and help you grow this holiday season. But really the main thing that we wanted to touch base on was your core infrastructure, your core platform. So now we want to move into your back-end operation. We've seen this time and time again, even when the pandemic hit, for certain companies and certain industries, they experience tremendous supply chain issues, right? So these issues were out of stock items. They couldn't get products in stock from their suppliers, which led to tons and tons of drop-offs on their e-commerce store. So right now, it's more important than ever to be proactive rather than reactive in this situation. Stock up on all of your top sellers because you do not want to run out this holiday season. The next thing that we want to touch base on is your fulfillment and logistic workflow. So do you have the right workflow in place, and do you have the right processes in place for your team to handle now this increase in order volume? Right? So that's very important right now, is one, having the sufficient stock to be able to fulfill the demand, and two is to have that back-end operation in order to have a clean, efficient workflow from shipping to fulfillment. It's also important to make sure that you have the proper processes and workflows in place to handle the high volume from a fulfillment standpoint. So, Carlo, what are some tools that we use for inventory management systems and fulfillment to ensure a streamlined fulfillment workflow?
Well, Joe, it's really about having an integrated system between your inventory management and your shipping technologies. So you want to use a robust inventory management system, something like SKU Vault or SKU Vana. And you want to pair that with something like ShipStation that'll be able to have your operations running in a smooth manner and make sure that all your numbers are lining up.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you do not have these integrated with your e-commerce store right now, again, you need to get this integrated. So for example, you're gonna have your ShipStation integrated with your BigCommerce or Shopify store. That's also integrated with your inventory management system. So from picking items, printing packing labels, and shipping these items out, these tools all help you get that integrated, streamlined workflow to make sure that you're getting as many orders fulfilled and shipped as soon as possible. We know that during the holiday season, up to 47%, and this is stats from last year, 47% of e-commerce stores experience issues with out-of-stock items, back orders, shipping errors. So it's really important that you have that streamlined workflow from a logistics standpoint. So then the last thing we want to talk about is marketing. So marketing now, holiday season 2020, we're expecting to see much higher competition, more so than ever. And typically we always see high competition during the holiday season. So now that we've seen more and more businesses shift to e-commerce, we're now expecting to see even more competition come this holiday season. So what can store owners do to ensure that their e-commerce store, that their traffic, their visibility is not diluted by this increase in competition?
Well, Joe, if you're thinking about SEO, then the time to publish your articles for the 2020 holiday season, the time to publish your buying guides, your product reviews, all that is now. Because you need time to rank those articles, and you need time to start building links and to get visibility and to get authority, and you're not going to be able to do that at the last minute. Another thing I want to point out is take some time to look at the calendar and plan out what holidays you want to create campaigns around. The last thing you want to do if you're like a B2C company is realize, we have this holiday coming right around the corner, and be scrambling at the last minute to create a campaign for it.
So I'm glad you touched base on that, Carlo. You're absolutely right. We know that SEO, search engine optimization, which is going to bring in your organic visibility, is going to take time. So if you're trying to start ranking for holiday specific terms, you need to get started on creating that content and publishing that content right now, so you can then start to boost that content with backlinks, or sharing it on additional platforms to try to get as much visibility as possible, so that by the time that holiday season comes, you're already jumped up to potentially page 1 for those keywords that you're trying to rank for. A good example of that is a client of ours that sells t-shirts. And they do have categories broken down by different seasons and holidays. So for example, their category Christmas t-shirts, that's a category page and content that we start to optimize for and start pushing already come late July, early August. So that way we can continue to reinforce it throughout the holiday season. And that way during the Christmas season, we're ranking on page 1 of Google. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, for Christmas shirts, Tees to Your Door is ranking, I think, 3 or 4 organically on Google search. So that's something that you want to take into consideration, is planning out your editorial calendar, your content calendar, and making sure that you're giving yourself enough time to get these pages and these keywords ranking for the terms that you're trying to push. So that's number 1. That's the organic standpoint. Number 2 is your paid strategy, right? During the holiday season, we already know that your average cost per click is gonna go up, right? That's a given. That's because competition goes up. And now we're expecting an even higher competition. So we can assume that cost per click on average this holiday season is going to be much higher than it was last season. So it's more important than ever that you start setting up these campaigns and fine-tuning these campaigns now, so that way during the holiday season you're getting the best return on ad spend possible and you have the highest conversion rate that you can possibly have. You do not want to start a campaign coming into the holiday season that you haven't tested, that you haven't been able to optimize, run split tests to get that well-oiled, fine-tuned machine. So right now is the time to start running these tests, to start making sure that you have everything in place, so you don't have to spend that high cost per click during a testing period, right? So that's definitely something you want to jump into now if you haven't started already. And the last thing is going to be retargeting. So talk to me a little bit about retargeting and why it's so important right now for this 2020 holiday season.
Well, Joe, retargeting is more important during the holiday season than ever because you have more competition and people are in buy mode right then and there. So I want to talk a little bit about retaining your current customer base. You want to make sure that if you have loyalty programs in place or you have certain incentives to bring back the customers who have already bought from you and who already trust you. So for that, we recommend using things like Facebook retargeting and hitting people when they're on their social media pages, and also utilizing your current email list with tools like Klaviyo that'll allow you to just email them and let them know the different holiday specials that you're running.
Yeah. Like Carlos said, focus on your existing customer base as well. Show them that you appreciate them as a customer. Offer incentives using Klaviyo email remarketing or Facebook remarketing because you want to make sure that you do not lose your loyal customer base to competitors come this holiday season. So those are the 3 top things we wanted to discuss today. 1, your technology and your platform. Is your platform ready to handle this increase of traffic come this holiday season? 2, your back-end operation. Is your team and your back-end integration ready to handle the increase in volume from a fulfillment standpoint? And 3, marketing. If you have not started with a marketing strategy for this upcoming holiday season, get started today. Again, we're more than happy to answer any questions that you may have or help you and guide you through this process. Let us know if you have any questions. We'll talk to you guys next week.